Hi everybody, it's Wednesday the 11th, and first of all I must just say hi to you all. I hope you paid your respects this morning at 11 o'clock. You can see I'm wearing my beaded poppy, which is similar to the bead embroidery that we are doing today on our bumblebee. I do always buy an ordinary poppy as well, so I always donate to the Poppy Appeal, as my husband's an ex-soldier as well, so obviously we know how much it means to military families and veterans everywhere. So yes, got my poppy on. Okay, so today we're going to be doing, my glasses look a bit cockeyed. Oh well. Now excuse if the dog starts barking. My family have just come back in from Tesco's, and so far I've managed to not have any of this happening when I've been going live, so you'll have to bear with me. There might be a bit of noise, there might be a bit of barking off the dog, I don't know, so just bear with me a minute. Thank you. They're just shutting the door. Sorry guys, sorry Donna. Couldn't be helped. Timing was terrible then. So today we're doing our gorgeous little bee brooch. Okay, and she's on something called bead foundation. Oh, it's all these beads and bees. She's on bead foundation, so it's a stiff, bit like felt, but it's a little bit stiffer. If you've had one of our beaded embroidered kits before, then you'll know what the bead foundation is. It's a little bit stiffer and it holds the beads together. It doesn't fluff out like felt would. So that's what you'll get it on, and you'll get it, the image like this. This is on felt actually, but yours will be on bead foundation. So you get the full image. Oh good, you couldn't hear her. That's good, brilliant. You get the full image, but when you cut it out, I ignore the little feet, so I don't cut the little feet out, and I don't cut her little antennae out. I just ignore those. So I'll show you what I do. So you can see she's not got any feet dangling down. I don't worry about her feet. Where her antennae were going to go, I think if I put it closer to the camera, just here and here, you've got a little mark where the antennae would be. And we're going to use something special for that. So I'm going to put the camera down and start showing you how to make your beaded bee. I hope you can see my, oops, I'm a bit wonky today. So let me see. No, can't find. There we go. I've turned the volume off, so oops. Okay, can't see it. Right, so I'm hoping you can see this nice and clearly, because my iPad's tilted this way. I can't actually see what's on the screen. So, okay, we talked about her little antennae. So I'm going to lift up this, which is a stamen, and it comes probably opened up like so. And you're just going to fold it in half, and this is going to go behind your bumblebee. Okay, so let's hold it up there. And her little antennae are going to stick out. Okay, I'm just going to tilt this camera up a little bit so I can see, oops daisy, what you can see. That's better. So you can see she's got little marks there where her antennae should be, and you can kind of roughly position them. Now, thread your needle. You get a needle in the kit, and just hold them in the position that you want them, and then you'll have a little V on the back of your bee, okay, and put a knot in your thread and just stitch your thread through. And it doesn't matter if it goes through to the other side, it shouldn't do because it's quite thick, this bead foundation, but just stitch it in position. And these, until you're finished, your antennae will probably wiggle about a bit, but you can finish it off by stitching them directly into place at the top of the edge of the bee's head when we're doing our beading. Okay, so all I would do, rather than take off my thread, I'm just going to put it up to the top of the head where, oops, so I'm coming out here at the top of the head. And if you've followed us before doing this, I tend to work around in circles, or round the edges first. So I will work around the edge of her face first. So I'm going to pick up, we have some lovely beads. If I pull them back on my mat, you'll be able to see them here. So we've got some size 10s in black, and we've got some size 11s in this gorgeous bright yellow. And then we've got this gorgeous AB clear, which means it's got like a little AB effect, Aurora Borealis effect on it for her wings. And then you'll have a pinch of little white ones. Oh, and also we should have some little red ones as well, but I can't see mine, but that's just for her mouth. So let's start. So I'm going to pick up a few beads at a time, and you can use as many as you want or as few as you want. I tend to pick up between sort of 4 or 5 and just lay them onto her head. It's obviously a lot easier if you can do this down on your mat, but you want to get the needle going down at the end of that little row. Okay, and then we're going to pass the needle at the side of the beads and stitch over to the back of them, and this is going to go in between some of your beads. So I've got 3 there that I've trapped, and this is called couching. So you do it, whoops, to the side, whoops, we don't want to trap her antennae, whoops a daisy. And then I'm going to go back down, and I'm going to go up through another couple of beads, and this is just to keep them in position round the edge of the piece. Keeps it nice and uniform all around. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up in between 2 beads, and I'm going to go back 3 beads from where we finished off, and I'm going to pass my needle back through the last 3 beads I added. And this helps with the continuation of the row, so it doesn't look as though you've added a group of beads and then added another group. So it just makes it all seamless. And again, pick up however many you can cope with. You know, if you can cope with a lot more, then you can do a lot more, but I tend to do sort of between 5 or 6. That's kind of enough for me to try and cope with. So you can see I'm holding them round the edge of the head, and then I'm just finding where that last bead stops and putting my needle down through, and then I'm going to come back up. Now this is a good point here where I can trap my antennae in there. So we'll keep it in position if I use that thread to just trap the antennae as well. And of course you can pull that down. So if your antennae are standing up a bit too high, you know, you can pull that down a bit and make them shorter. It doesn't matter what's on the reverse of your piece because you will be covering it. So you can sort of right near the end, if you think, you know, they don't look right, they need to come down a little bit lower, you can sort of take the thread onto them, go through the needle, through the actual antenna with your needle, and just tack it down a little bit lower. So don't think, you know, that you can't change it at that point. You can. So I'm just going to go through this last one, and then I'm going to find a gap in the beads, and I'm going to, there we go. So what it does is it actually gives you a nice neat edge around the head. Okay, can I show you that bit better? There we go. I think that's good and clear. Okay, so I would do this right the way round her head, right the way round to the top of the head again, round this side, and then I'd work inwards. Now, obviously, you're going to come to a point where the little eyes are, and the eyes are slightly different. So if I put my needle through, for the eyes, if you take your needle and come up through the eye, pick up one of these larger white beads, so they're a size 8 for the base of the eye, and then pick up one of the 11s. And what you want to do is drop that down, and then take your needle and pass it just through, miss the black one, and just go through the white one, and that will keep that little black one on top. You can see there it sticks up a little bit, but it keeps it on top so that you've got the little black pupil on her eye, and do that again on her other one as well. Pick up one of the little white larger beads, and you'll have a pinch of those in your kit. And then you've got her little eyes on. She's ever so cute. And actually you can, once it's finished, if you want the eyes to stay in the same position, you can actually move the little black dot around a bit. So you can make her look a bit cross-eyed. You can make her looking sort of off to the left or off to the right or up above or down below. And if you want them to stay in that position, you can put a little tiny bit of glue over it so it keeps them in that position. I tend to let them just roam free. So you can see mine, she's kind of cockeyed actually. She's a bit cockeyed. She quite often looks up and down with different eyes. So the next bit you would do once you've finished this little bit, there is a little line here, and you have got some red beads in your kit, some little tiny number 11s for you to do a little tiny smile. Oh, we've got lots of people watching, that's brilliant. Yes, you can do, with these size 11 red beads, you can do the little smile. Okay, and again, use this technique where if you put on enough to make that little curve, and then put a line of beads on, and then couch from side to side to keep them in the correct position, and you'll get that nice little curve on it. So then I would go on to this bit. I'm using black thread with mine, and you'll probably get, I think it's a lighter colour thread. You'll get a lighter colour thread so it won't show up as much. I'm doing black so that you can see. So then I would go to the body, and for that you need the little yellow beads, and they're a lovely bright yellow. Let's see if I can get 2 more on there. So and instead of going round the body like we did the head, I would just do it in little rows. So you can see I've just done a little row here, and what I would do then is couch them. So I'm going to come up just to the little, well, just underneath the row of beads, bring my thread up, and then use my thread to hold the beads in position. So go over the side of the piece and come back up again, and then go back down a bit further up, and then go over again. So let me just, I'm doing this back to front, so it's a bit tricky, but there we go. And then I would put the next row on. So you're only going to get, in this first little tiny bit, you're only going to get 1, 2, 3 rows at most, and one of the rows is just going to be maybe 1 bead. Oh, thank you, Donna. It is cute. I really love her. She's so cute. And so apt as well, because Peterborough was used on the programme Jimmy's Farm when he was trying to help out with making sure we didn't lose all our bees. So yes, quite apt. We were all sent kits. I don't know whether you got one, Donna, but I certainly got a kit to sow wildflowers in the garden, ones that will encourage the bees to come in and you know, make a good place for them to come. I mean, we already have lots of buddleia in our garden, so, well, and also in the passage next to us. So we do get an awful lot of bees anyway. And also I've done one of these, you know, like bead hotels for winter, so that it gives the bees somewhere to stay safely. So I've got one of those. I've got a bug hotel. So hopefully I'm doing the right thing. And I don't kill them, and even though I'm allergic to them, I don't kill them. If I see them on the floor, I put some, you know, a couple of drops of water next to them to rehydrate them. So, yeah, I think I've been pretty good to the bees. So, you can see here, I'm just going to finish off this little bit so you can see one little bit finished, and then, oops, and then I would go on and do my straight line with my, whoops. So there's my little corner done. And then I would do my little line of black here. And the same again, so when you come to her wings, I would do it in little rows, up and down. So, oops, let me do a little bit more on this black one. So I'm going to start with the, oops, the bigger bit. I'll put some beads on. So you only want to, with these small areas, what you want to do is just put as many beads as you need to get to the edge of your piece. So just lay it down flat and have a look and see how many you need just to get to the edge of your piece. And that's perfect. So I'm just going to put the thread up there. We don't want them falling over the end, so that's where we come back and couch. Oops. So you can control where they sit. There we go. So you can see the row there. Starting my, let's try not to shake. So starting my row on the next line, and I just do probably 2 and a bit rows there. And then I do my yellow, my black, my yellow, and my black again. So that's how you sew her. And then you have another piece of felt, not felt, yes, felt. You have bee foundation for your little bee. That's why she's so thin. And then you have a piece of felt, not quite as thick as this. This is quite a thick one I've picked up. But you'll have a piece of felt in a square shape. And what you need to do is cover the back once she's all finished and you're happy with her little antennae position. You want to take some PVA glue, just PVA glue is absolutely fine. Put quite a bit on because it does soak in. And obviously if it does soak in too much, it's not going to stick your pieces together. And I tend to find something quite heavy to put on top of it. So I would put my glue on my foundation and stick my square over the top. And then I would lay it down and leave it to dry with something quite heavy on top of it, probably overnight. And then when you get up in the morning or the next day, you can snip round it carefully with your scissors. Just use a little, like my little sewing scissors here. use a little pair of scissors to sew around it, and do be very, very careful. You can actually, if you want to, you can just sort of sellotape your antennae down so they're not sort of sticking out, dangling, tempting you to cut them off. But try not to. If you do, don't panic. Just pop a little bit of glue just down, poke it in, and poke your antennae in, and you can probably glue them back again if you do make that mistake. But then you want to cut around your piece. You'll have a lovely clean back on it, and then there will also be a little rectangle of felt, and you may need to just snip it smaller depending on what size brooch back we've given you, but you'll have enough obviously to do this. And what I tend to do is I open my little brooch back, and these are little tiny ones just for the little tiny bee, and I take my strip of felt and pop it inside, so it's actually inside the little brooch back. Oh, you can see that. So my brooch back is there, and this is inside, and then I would put glue on this area and stick it onto the back of our little bee, so she's got a little brooch on the back. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Did you? Does anybody have any questions at all? Oops, Daisy. Trying to see if I can see if anybody's got any questions. Now, I'm on again on Tuesday, and stupidly I haven't got a sample of what I'm doing. It's down at the shop, but I'm on the crafts channel on Tuesday at 3:30. Caroline's called it a gonk, but it's not a gonk. I don't like the word gonk. I'm making a Christmas gnome with just a few little bits, so you don't have to purchase a load of stuff. And I think we're going to be doing it as a kit as well. So if you really enjoyed Bumblebee, we've got kits ready and waiting for you down at the shop. Whoops, where's our antenna gone? So yes, there are kits ready for this, and as I say, I'll be 3:30 on Tuesday, but on the Riverside Crafts channel. So if you on the crafts page, so please, if you fancy watching, like the crafts page as well, and you'll be able to watch me making this Christmas gnome. Donna is on next Wednesday, and she is excitingly doing some makes from the new drum roll, the new subscription box, so the Riverside Beads box. So Donna's going to be showing you some things that you can make with your goodies that you had in your box, your surprise boxes. And thank you so much to everybody that's subscribed, and well, I know you haven't subscribed yet, but you've got the boxes. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. You've outshone our expectations, so Donna is so chuffed. And so she'll be showing you some tips with those and making some bits with the stuff from the Riverside Beads box. I don't know what I'm doing next for my next Wednesday, but I'm sure we'll let you know in due course. But I will see you again on Tuesday if you come over to our craft page, and I'll see you doing my Christmas gnome with a glue gun, so you can watch me burn myself. Okay, so let's turn this cack up. Oh gosh, it's very stiff. Okay, everybody. So thank you for watching. I will see you again on Tuesday for this. Those glasses are really cockeyed. See you on Tuesday for the Christmas gnome, and Donna will see you on the Wednesday with the lovely tips and tricks with some of the stuff that's in the Riverside Bead box. Okay, bye.